The term unconscious mind was first introduced by Sigmund Freud, who theorized that there are certain things going on in our minds below the surface, so to speak, that influence how we think, feel, and behave. However, what happens when we go deeper than that? What if there's something even deeper at play? This is where Carl Jung's theory of collective unconscious comes into play. Welcome back to another episode. Before we begin, we would like to thank you for your support. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. What is the unconscious mind? The unconscious mind, according to Freud, is a vast storehouse of thoughts, feelings, and memories that are outside of our conscious awareness. He believed that the unconscious mind could be accessed through dream analysis, which can reveal repressed memories and unresolved conflicts that were causing psychological distress in Jung's view. The unconscious mind is divided into two parts, the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. The personal unconscious contains all of the hidden thoughts, feelings, and memories that have been repressed or forgotten. For example, someone who has been abused as a child may have repressed those memories and they may not even be aware of them. However, these memories are still stored in the personal unconscious and they can influence how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. On the other hand, the collective unconscious is universal and it contains the memories, feelings, and thoughts of all humans throughout history. It's like a database of all human experience. According to Jung, the collective unconscious is what allows us to understand and relate to other people. Even if we've never met them before, we can still pick up on their thoughts, feelings, and intentions because they're all part of the same human race. Jung believed that the collective unconscious is what gives rise to our instincts, and instincts are essentially patterns of behavior that are hardwired into us from birth. For example, we all have an instinct to survive, but we don't have to consciously think about surviving. It just happens. Our brains and bodies will do whatever is necessary to keep us alive. We also have instincts related to reproduction, such as being attracted to potential partners and feeling protective towards our offspring. And we have social instincts that make us want to belong to a group and be accepted by our peers. Jung believed that these instincts are what drive human behavior. They're the underlying motivations behind everything we do, and they're all stored in the collective unconscious. How does it work? Now that we know what the collective unconscious is, let's take a look at how it works. As we mentioned earlier, Jung believed that the collective unconscious is a kind of database that contains all human experience. But how is it possible for this database to contain information about every human being that has ever lived? According to Jung, we are all connected to each other on a deeper level. We are all part of the same human race, and we all share the same instincts and drives. This means that we are all linked together through our collective unconscious. When one person experiences something new, that experience is added to the collective unconscious and becomes part of the shared human experience. Over time, this creates a kind of collective memory that all humans have access to. For example, let's say someone invents a new type of technology. That experience is encoded in the collective unconscious, and future generations will be able to come up with similar ideas. This is because they have access to the same collective unconscious and the information contained within it. How can we access it? So now you might be wondering how you can access your own collective unconsciousness. Jung believed that we can access the collective unconscious through a variety of methods. One way is through active imagination. This is a technique that involves letting your mind wander and explore freely without any external stimuli. By doing this, you allow your subconscious mind to surface and you can gain access to the collective unconscious. Another way to access the collective unconscious is through dreams. Dreams are another way that our subconscious minds communicate with us. By analyzing our dreams, we can uncover hidden thoughts and feelings that are stored in the collective unconscious. We can also access the collective unconscious through art. Art is a way of expressing the deepest parts of ourselves. By creating or appreciating art, we tap into the collective unconscious and connect with other humans on a deeper level. And finally, we can access the collective unconscious through myths and stories. Myths and stories are a way of transmitting cultural information from one generation to the next. They're also a way of tapping into the collective unconscious and connecting with our ancestors. By understanding the myths and stories of our culture, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Myths and archetypes, in addition to accessing the collective unconscious through dreams, art, and stories. Jung believed that we can also study it directly. He developed a concept called archetypes, which are universal symbols and motifs that appear in myths and stories across cultures. For example, the hero archetype is a common figure in myths and stories all over the world. The hero is a character who goes on a journey and faces challenges and grows as a result of those challenges. Jung believed that the hero archetype represents the journey of self-discovery that all humans go through. Another common archetype is the wise old man. This archetype represents wisdom and knowledge. The wise old man is a mentor or teacher who helps the hero on his journey. Jung believed that this archetype represents our need for guidance and wisdom in our lives. By studying archetypes, we can learn more about the collective unconscious and our place in the universe. Jung believed that understanding archetypes can help us to become more aware of the patterns of human behavior and the underlying motivations that drive us. How does it differ from the personal unconscious? Now that we have taken a look at how the collective unconscious works and how we can access it, let's compare it to the personal unconscious. As we mentioned earlier, the personal unconscious contains all of our hidden thoughts, feelings, and memories that we have repressed or forgotten. The personal unconscious is unique to each individual and it is shaped by our personal experiences. For example, someone who has been abused as a child may have repressed those memories, but they will affect how that person thinks, feels, and behaves. On the other hand, the collective unconscious is shared by all humans. It contains the memories, feelings, and thoughts of all humans throughout history. It is a universal database of human experience. Here's another way to think about the difference between the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. The personal unconscious is like the hard drive on your computer. It stores all of your personal files and documents. The collective unconscious is like the cloud. It's a vast storage space that contains the files and documents of everyone in the world. Why should we care? So why should you care about the collective unconscious? What does it really matter if there's some kind of universal database of human experience? Jung believed that understanding the collective unconscious can help us to become more aware of ourselves and our place in the world. It can help us to understand the patterns of human behavior and the motivations that drive us. We can also use our knowledge of the collective unconscious to tap into the wisdom and insights of all the people who have come before us. By studying myths and stories, we can learn about the challenges that other humans have faced and how they have overcome them. This can give us guidance and wisdom as we navigate our own challenges. In addition, understanding the collective unconscious can help us to appreciate the interconnectedness of all humans. We are all part of the same race and we all share the same instincts and drives. We are all linked together through our collective unconscious. When we realize this, we can feel a sense of connection with all other humans. We can feel that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. And finally, understanding the collective unconscious can help us to become more creative. The collective unconscious is a wellspring of creativity. It is a vast storehouse of images, symbols, and stories that humans have created over the course of history. By tapping into this creativity, we can come up with new ideas and solutions to old problems. We can be more imaginative and open-minded in our thinking. Carl Jung vs. Sigmund Freud. Now that we understand what the collective unconscious is, let's take a look at how it differs from Freud's theory of the unconscious mind, as we mentioned earlier. Freud believed that the unconscious mind was a kind of repository of repressed memories and unresolved conflicts. He believed that these repressed memories were the source of psychological distress. Jung, on the other hand, believed that the unconscious mind was much more than that. It was a kind of database that contained the memories, feelings, and thoughts of all humans throughout history. Freud also believed that the unconscious mind could be accessed through dream analysis. However, Jung believed that we can access the collective unconscious through a variety of methods, including active imagination, dreams, art, and stories. Both Freud and Jung believed that the unconscious mind influences how we think, feel, and behave. However, Jung believed that the collective unconscious had a much broader influence. It shapes our entire worldview and gives rise to our instincts. Freud believed that the unconscious mind could be analyzed and interpreted to reveal repressed memories and unresolved conflicts. Jung believed that the collective unconscious is too vast and complex to be fully understood. We can only access it through symbolism and metaphor. However, it's important to note that the collective unconscious is not a panacea. It is not a substitute for therapy or other forms of mental health treatment. The collective unconscious is a tool that can be used to enhance our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. When used responsibly and ethically, it can be a powerful ally on our journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Would love to have you back for the next one. And if you have any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. Until then, take care.